Hey guys, Tech Made Easy, and thank you so much for clicking on our video today. Guys, I am super excited to spend time with you and introduce you to this power station that is very unique. Guys, the battery technology in this power station is a game changer. They are using semi-solid state lithium iron phosphate batteries. Very, very cool. They claim them to be one of the safest batteries out there. And they did a puncture test, as you could see on the screen, against some of the different battery types. You're going to need to check that out later in our video, I promise you. Now, they also say this battery offers a 30% higher energy density. Now, what is that in English? It simply means you have a smaller power station with more battery capacity in it because of the way it's designed with that semi-solid state. Now, you want even more. Look, they say that you can get 4,500 cycles out of this, and then it goes to 80%, which is way more than the competition. And they state that you can also get a 15-year lifespan out of the batteries. Obviously, you would have to do the correct maintenance, but this is expandable to over 9 kilowatt hours. Plus, as you can see here on the desk, there's a parallel option that you can get more power out of it by combining two of them. Now, this video is going to be detailed, so be aware we'll have timestamps in the description, but I think we need to go ahead and get this party started. Hi, this is Al from Tech Made Easy with a really quick message. The video you're about to watch is sponsored. We received this product from the vendor. But keep in mind, we will be very honest with you as we review the product. That is very important to us. If you like our video, I sure hope you give us a thumbs up. I hope you share our video. And last, I really hope you subscribe and become a part of the family. Thank you. Here is what we're covering in this video. As you can see, a lot of detail, right? We're going to do that bonus intro to parallel. We're going to do our refrigerator test. We're going to power test this thing to see if it can handle that 1200 watts. But pause this if you want to check it out. We're going to have timestamps coming up right now. Here are the timestamps so you can move around. And I'll also put them in the video description as well. All right, great news if you decide to buy the power station after watching the video. Well, for Tech Made Easy subscribers and viewers, this is going to expire on March 3rd, 2024. You'll be able to get a 10% discount on the power station, and it'll include 220-watt solar panels. This special link and code will be in the video description. Let's go ahead and get this unboxed. And here you go. Here is everything. So we've got the power station. We've got the add-on battery. And then we've got the battery cable that comes with the battery. You got a battery manual and the power station manual. We've got a AC cord. You've got a car charger, XT60. And we've got solar cables, XT60 as well. And that is what we get. Let's jump in and check this out. All right, we're going to jump in and go over basics and specs, and then we're going to do our close look. So the power station itself is $899. This is the DBS1300, and the add-on battery is $799. Now the power output on the power station is 1200 watts, and it can surge to 2400 watts. Now they have a feature called P-Boost. Let me bring up a slide so you can see what P-Boost is all about. So here's a note on P-Boost from the manual. All right, but they're saying with P-Boost, it can actually power 1600 watts. Now, if you look at what I have underlined, it says it's not compatible with for all electrical appliances. It's incompatible with appliances with strict voltage requirements. So at that point, you'll just max out at the 1200 watts. But hit pause if you'd like to read more about P-Boost. Continuing on with specs, pure sine wave inverter, and we're going to test that. That's important. You want to know you're getting clean power. I couldn't confirm if it has pass-through charging, so we'll test that. Now this has an EPS, Emergency Power System. They don't call it a UPS. They're saying that it's 15 milliseconds or less. That is really, really good. This thing does have a parallel option that'll allow you to almost double your output to 2000 watts. We'll show that later on. It is expandable to 9.4 kilowatts. So you can have 2 inverters and 4 batteries connected to this thing. Now the individual battery is 1330 watt hours. All right. The battery chemistry on this thing is out of this world. So they call it EV semi-solid state LFP battery. Now I'm going to stop for a minute and I'm going to play a video from Dabbsson that'll actually show how good their battery is. All right. And that's kind of the best way I could explain it. So let me play that for you now. Pretty cool stuff with the battery. What do you think? Put a comment down below. Let me know what you think. But battery cycles on this thing, by the way, 4,500 cycles. And then it goes to 80%. That is more than many of the lithium iron phosphate batteries that are out today. Let's take a moment and go over some specs. I'll pull this a little closer so we could look at the front of the unit for a moment. Nice screen, first of all. I'll turn it on so you can see it. So it's got a color screen, and we'll take a look at what information it provides. So it's got battery percentage. It's got bars for the battery. It does show charge and discharge right here on the corner. You got your input and your output wattage, and then it'll actually show if it's connected to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi right here in the corner. Now, when we look at the ports, we've got two USB Type A. These are 12 watt. You've got one Type A quick charge, which is 18 watts. Then you've got two USB Type Cs that are 30 watts. Then you've got one that's 100. So that's the first time I've seen three USB Type Cs. All right, you've got two barrel ports. All right, so if you're going to use a barrel port, we'll show you some accessories later on. If you're not going to use barrel ports, you can actually make them car chargers if you want. So I'll show you that coming up later. IoT reset. So if you need to reset this to connect it to the app, you can do that. Your power button is here. Your power button for your DC is here. And your power button for your USB is here. This also has a light. We'll show you that later on. All right. And we're going to talk a little bit about input, right? So as far as charging is concerned, you can actually pump 1,000 watts of AC right from your outlet to this unit, and you can even adjust that as well. We're going to do a charging test. We'll show you some of that. All right. So we're going to charge this from 0 to 100 and see what that looks like. Solar on this thing, 400 watts, 12 to 60 volt, 12 amp, not bad. And of course you can also car charge this unit. It does come with that as well. And the car charge is 12/24 volt, 8 amp. Now this does have Wi-Fi and it does have Bluetooth. So obviously Wi-Fi is going to give you remote capability. You don't have to be where the power station is. If you decide you want to turn something off or you want to check your battery status, you can do that. And you don't have to be at your office or home or your workplace. You can do that right on your phone while you're traveling. Now, AC charging, you can charge this to 80% in 44 minutes, all right, using that 1,000 watts. Solar charging would take about 5 hours to charge to 100%. Of course, perfect environment, right? I mean, 400 watts of solar, all the way, but that's not possible. So it's going to take a little longer than 5 hours. Now, if you do AC and solar, if you do that, you could pump 1,400 watts into this and charge it in, they say an hour and a half, right? But that's, again, perfect. It's probably going to be about 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and a half. But again, really, really nice. Weight on the power station is 36.4 pounds or 16.51 kilograms. And weight on the battery, I will put right up on the screen because I don't have it in front of me. There's the weight on the battery. And you've got a 5-year warranty. Talk about expansion. I'm going to pull up an image in front of you and you'll be able to see that you can expand this all the way to 9.4 kilowatts, as you can see. So you've got 2 inverters and 4 batteries. But, and in between, if you just want to add a battery or add 2 batteries, you can do that. 2 batteries would be 4.7 kilowatts. So battery expansion is really nice about this power station. But what if you needed more power? What if 1,200 watts just wasn't enough? Is there a way to make this more powerful? Well, guess what? Dabbsson thought about that. They came out with a parallel cable. Let me show you that. And there you go, boom. The Dabbsson parallel connector. And as you can see, it's got 2 cables coming out, right? And you would need 2 power stations. And as you can see, they're connected on the right side. So the parallel adapter connects on the right side. The additional expansion batteries connect on the left side. But you've got 2 of them. And instead of 1,200 watts, you're now talking 2,000 watts. And yet you can still plug in batteries, right? So you can have up to 9 kilowatt hours connected to this as well. So it's really nice to know that you can start off with 1 power station, maybe down the road add a battery, And then if you do need more power, you now have the parallel connector. And this has two 20 amp 100 to 120 volt plugs and two 30 amp 100 to 120 volt plugs here also. This is an XD010, if you were wondering what kind of connector. So really nice to know, and we'll definitely have links in the description for all of this. Take a look at the battery, actually. Let's start off with the battery. If we look at it from the top down, we've got some nice handles, plenty of room to grab the unit, which is nice. Okay, and if we look at the front, we've got a display again, input, output wattage, battery percentage, charge and discharge time. Interesting, huh? So nice display on the battery. And, you know, you've got your ventilation. So on the left side, we've got ventilation and a battery port. So there's your battery port. We'll connect this in a minute so you can see it. It's got a decent cover as well, just goes right over. Check the right side. I think it's just the ventilation, if I'm not mistaken. There's your ventilation. And the back, it's just got your serial number and some other information. You know, nothing major. All right, so that is a look at the battery. Let's take a look at the power station. So we've already seen the front of the power station. The top is the same as the battery, you know, same top, nice handles. All right, and then let's take a look at the left side of the power station. And we have basically a cover here. And you know what? Let's use our desk and lift it up for a minute. So check this out, huh? We've got a data input. You can actually connect an Ethernet cable. That's the first time I've seen that. You got overload protection here, your AC charging here, and your XT60. And it's not an XT60i, just so you'll know. Now you've got ventilation over here, and you can connect two batteries, as you can see. So, two battery ports. All right, interesting data cable. I wonder what that's about. Now let me switch this over to the other side. And here's where your AC outlets will be. You got 4 AC outlets, AC on and off switch, and you have a parallel port cable. That's pretty cool, huh? Maybe we'll show you that later on. You know, let's you know, make sure you look at the timestamps. But, you know, again, you go to the back and you've got your serial number and some spec information on here as well. We're going to go ahead and connect the battery, and here's the cable. All we do is push it in. Hold on. All right. And let me get the battery. All right, I'm going to connect this, but I want you to see. I just want to make sure that this comes in correctly. This cable is 8 AWG. I mean, that is some crazy thickness. Well, let me connect it to the top, and then we'll take a look at it. All right, we're connected. Now, the bottom is 100%. All right, and the top is 30. Now, I would have thought that the bottom maybe would charge the top, but I guess because this is an expansion battery, this one would charge this one when needed. So that might make sense. But cable's really thick, you know, so definitely, you know, fun to put on. But there you go. It's all connected. Okay, this is something that I include in every one of my power station videos moving forward. It's called Know Before You Buy. And my goal with this is that you don't go out and buy something that is not going to work for you. All right? I don't want you spending the money. I don't want you to have the headache. And I can tell you how this started. I had a friend that bought a power station, and it was a small one. And because it was a power station, I believe she assumed it would power her coffee maker. And so she was extremely disappointed. And after talking with her, I tried to explain it's more about knowledge and understanding. And so that's why I put together Know Before You Buy, because I want you to think about a few things that I'm going to go over in this section. So let me get started with number one. Number one is, what do you want to power? You have to just stop for a minute and say, you know what am I using this for? Is it for a camping trip? Is it for a road trip? Am I buying this in the case of an emergency if my power goes out? Am I taking this to a cabin that we go to every once in a while? Right? So what do you want to power? Refrigerators, TVs, phones, maybe the internet, a laptop, LED lights. So take a moment, write that down. What do you want to power? Number two, do you know how much power your appliances and device require? You probably don't. Most people don't. I learned so much in the last couple of years, and I still don't know everything. So I'm going to be showing you an accessory towards the end of this video that I highly recommend you get, because it's going to help you, determine how much power your laptop uses, your TV uses, your phone uses. But let's stick to this page here. So number two, how much power? So you need to know that, okay? And the other thing is, some of these devices have startup wattage, surge wattage. If you're going to be powering a refrigerator uses wattage, but then it has a compressor that kicks on to make the refrigerator cold, and that can use hundreds of watts, especially older type refrigerators. Let's look at some examples real quick on the bottom. LED lights can use 5, maybe 10 watts. Those are the newer LED lights, right? Laptops can use 100. They could use more. It just depends on how old it is. Is it a gaming laptop, TVs can vary. New TVs use 100 to 200 watts, those thin TVs. But if you have a larger one, it could use 300 watts. If you have an older one, well, those can use like 300-400 watts. And what about a CPAP, right? If you have to sleep overnight and you have to use a CPAP, well, those can vary from 50 to 150 watts, probably more, probably less. Let's take a look at the next section. So here's part 3. How long, right? How long will you need to power the appliances or devices? Now, again, let's just say it's for an emergency, right? Maybe your power goes out once a year for like 8 to 12 hours. Let's use that as an example, all right? But you have to know, or at least have an idea before you make a purchase, because how long really connects with the battery size of the power stations. So let's look at the next slide. So let's put it all together, right? Number one, what do you want to power? What devices or appliances? Have a list of that. Number two, how much power do the appliances and devices require? Now, the tool or accessory I'm going to show you coming up is going to help you do that. And number three, how long will you need to power them, right? Number three, again, pertains to the size of the battery, right? But number one, and number two really pertains to the power of the unit, because each of these power stations have different power ratings. So here's an accessory that I'm going to recommend. And the brand, don't worry about the brand, because sometimes this brand's not available. I'll make sure links are in the description. But this device here, and I'm going to demo it in a moment so you can see it. I'm going to show it to you. It's real simple. But if you're new to it, it's intimidating, right? So this sells for around $25, and you can connect devices and appliances up to 1,875 watts. So just be aware, or 15 amps. Now, again, I don't expect you to know that, but I have to tell you that, because if you plug in, let's say, a 3,000 watt toaster oven, it's not going to work on this, okay? But let me demo it for you. But what this will do is it will help you understand the wattage that your devices and appliances use. So let's check out the demo. So we're going to do a simple demo. so you know what this device is about. Again, it doesn't cost much, first of all, right? I think it's around $25. And depending on the brand that's available, we'll put a link in the description. But just realize also that you can't plug everything into this. I believe there's like an 1800 watt limit and a certain amount of amps. Now, I know that's complicated, but if you want to know how many watts your light is using, how many watts your refrigerator is using, how many watts your laptop uses, your phone, this is perfect for it, okay? So this is plugged into my outlet, as you can see on the wall, and now I've got this light plugged in here. So all I need to do now is turn on the light, and let's see how many watts it uses. Now, again, it is on the watt screen, and this does do more than watts, so just be aware, okay? You can actually figure out kilowatts, which is how your electric company bills you. But I don't want to get that complicated. So let me turn the light on. And look at that. We're using 6.3 watts on the LED light. That's really good, right? And again, plug in your laptop, plug in your phone. Again, you'll learn more about the wattage that your appliances use, even your coffee maker. But if this was helpful, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And we're going to continue on with the review. All right. Well, I hope you learned something from Know Before You Buy. My goal is to kind of prevent you from spending money, to make sure that you get what you need. A lot of people make a mistake with calculating, and they buy the wrong machine and they're frustrated. So education is key. And if that was helpful, by the way, give us a thumbs up. Take a moment and smash that like button. And if you want, subscribe. Take a moment and subscribe. But we are going to jump in right now and go over estimated run times. This thing's got a 1330 watt-hour battery. So, how long will it last? These are some examples. And then maybe how many times can I charge certain devices? So we'll start off with the small refrigerator. Now, it's kind of like a college refrigerator, right? Let's say, again, I'm just giving you this example, that it uses 75 watts consistently. You would get about 15 hours, all right? An estimated 15 hours using this power station with this battery. Now, understand, refrigerators turn off, they turn on, the compressor kicks on, it uses a lot more wattage. A small college refrigerator should be fine for this unit, no problem. Now, we're going to be doing a full-size refrigerator test, so you want to make sure you see that later on in the video. But let's look at full-size refrigerator. Let's just say it uses 200 watts consistently. You're talking about maybe an estimated 6 hours of runtime with this power station. Now, you got to see our video on the refrigerator because we did really well. We have a newer refrigerator that doesn't use as much wattage. So that's the other thing. Some of these old refrigerators use a lot of wattage. So just be careful with these estimates. Now, what about home internet? Let's say you want your router and your modem to be connected to this power station. You could get about 24 hours, running your home internet. Just that. No TV, nothing, right? What about a fan? A full-size fan's usually around 60 watts. It could be more, but if it was around 60 watts, you can get an estimated 20 hours. Now, what about an LED light? LED lights use 5, maybe 10 watts. But let's say 10 watts, you can get 120 hours using this power station. The other thing is a CPAP. Now, CPAP wattage varies. Is your humidifier on? Stuff like that. So I am going to say 100 watts, but it could be more with the humidifier on. This power station could run it for up to 12 hours. Again, if you have one that uses that humidifier and stuff, you might be able to get 6, 7, 8 hours, and help you over the night. This is expandable. You can attach another battery, so you can double that, which is nice also. Don't forget this power station. An average laptop, about 50 watts. Maybe, again, depending, it could be more, but let's just say 50 watts. You're talking it could run the laptop for about 24 hours. Now, let's talk about charging. So if you had an iPad, the big one, the 12.9 inch, you could get about 30 charges on that iPad. Now, what about an iPhone 14, regular 14? You can get about 95 charges with this power station. And lastly, what about a regular Samsung S23? Well, you could get about 80 charges. I hope this helps you a little bit. Again, if it does, give us a thumbs up and think about subscribing. Thank you. So here are some accessories I recommend. Now, the first one is going to be for the barrel ports. As you can see here, you've got 2 barrel ports, but many people don't use them. Maybe they want to use the car charger instead. How would you like to have 2 or 3 car chargers? Well, there's an accessory right here, and it's covered too, so that's kind of nice. This actually converts the barrel port into a car charger. So now you can use it, if you're not using the barrel ports. A lot of people don't use barrel ports, but there are some that do. Now the next accessory is, what if you want more USB Type A and you don't use the USB Type C? Well, that's easy. If you want a USB Type A, you want another one, and you want to convert the Type C, there's an accessory for that. This little guy here, you plug it into a C and it gives you an A. So just take this, real simple, push it in, and now you have 4 USB Type A's. But what if you want more USB Type C's? Well, guess what? There is an accessory for it. It'll convert a Type A to a Type C. All you do is take it and put it in the right way. And we've just converted an A, and now you have 4 Type C's. And that's it on our accessories that we recommend. All right, we're going to test the light. I'm in a staircase. I'm going to just turn it on. It has a low, high, and then SOS. That's low. Not bad. Seems to kind of aim a little bit. That's high. So again, not bad. And then SOS. And that's off. Low, high. We're in the studio and we're going to do a pass-through charging test. All right, we've got 200 watts coming in. Now this can handle up to 1,000 watts, by the way. But we have 200 watts coming in, and we're going to set this. This is a 700 watt charger, maybe 600, it depends. It's supposed to be 700. But we obviously want more output than we want input as a good test for pass-through charging. So again, 200 watts coming in. We're going to turn on the AC outlet right here on the side. There's a button. We can also do it on the app. We're going to turn this on so it starts to charge. We're going to watch. So again, input changing to 381. Input changing again, but output's going up. All right. So output about 600 watts now. All right, 600 watts, and input automatically changed, even though we set it in the app for no more than 200 watts. I think once we do pass-through charging, it automatically wants to make up the difference. And as you can see, it's got 800 watts there. So 200 watts for charging and 600 watts for the device we're powering. And there you go. You can charge and power devices at the same time. So pass-through charging works. All right, I'm going to do an EPS test, emergency power system. Now, most people are used to hearing uninterrupted power supply, UPS, but UPSs are 5 milliseconds or faster. This is actually 15 milliseconds or faster. It's really, really good for a power station, but they call it EPS. And that's smart of them because it doesn't have UPS, right? So I'm going to just, use that power switch to turn off the power. Right now, you're going to see that the power station is receiving 240 watts, and it's outputting 42 watts to the light bulb. That's right. That light bulb is using 42 watts. It's not an LED light. If it was, it'd be using 5, maybe 10 watts. So change your bulbs to LED. It's worth it. All right. So we're going to watch the light to see if it flickers, and we're going to watch the screen. Now, this light is pretty bright. I'm going to turn it off so you can see that I do have a light in the back, but this dominates. So you're going to know when this flickers. All right, turn it back on. So we're going to go ahead and, again, just turn off that switch, which is going to turn off the power coming in, and it is going to switch over. And depending on how fast it switches, we're going to see by the flicker in that light. All right, I'm going to count to 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, you see now it's switched immediately. It's not being charged anymore. And if you notice, the bulb is now, the power station is now putting out 58 watts. So what happens is when you're using a plug on your power station, it's actually using an AC inverter as well as, the power of the bulb. So it's actually using more power right now. If you use DC, like a car charger, it would actually use less. They're more efficient, but that wasn't bad. Let's do this again. Again, I'm just going to go like this. You're going to see, obviously if it starts charging, I'm going to turn it back on for a minute. Let me just turn it back on. It'll switch over. There it goes. It's receiving power already. All right, and then we'll do this one more time for you so you can see. All right, we're ready. We got 200 and something watts right there on the screen. 1, 2, 3. That was pretty quick, to be honest with you. And so there is our test of EPS that the Dabbsson power station does have. All right, it is time to charge this and see how long it takes to get charged. Let's go ahead and plug this in. And it is 9:30 in the morning, and we're at 0%. Let's see how long it takes to charge. I want to take a moment and show you how to adjust your charging speed. So when you're in the app, you can click on charge and discharge speed right here. Then you can actually go in and change the AC charging speed, which will adjust the wattage. As you can see here, we're on 1,000 watts, right? So the power station has 1,000 watts going in right now to charge the power station. So as you can see, you can adjust this down to 50 watts if you want, just so you'll know. This thing goes all the way down to 50 watts. And again, I can go to 60, 70, so that's very interesting. Right? As you go up, it looks like, as you go into the hundreds, it only looks like it's 100. Oh, okay. Once you pass 200, you're now in 100 watt increments. But below that, you can go to 190, 180, 170. So, interesting. All right. All right, we're going to do a 45-minute check on charging. And we are at 46% with 999 watts going in. So there we are, 46%, 1,000 watts going in. Now we're 47%. 47%, 45 minutes. All right, we're 1 hour in, We're at 65% with 1,000 watts going in. All right. There you go. Hour and a half check. Let's see where we're at in an hour and a half. And we're at 97%. That's really good. 97%. It obviously goes to slow charging. As you can see on the left-hand side, you've got 352 watts going into the unit. So an hour and a half, 97%. Really good, really good. All right, not bad, not bad. Let's check it out. Should be 100%. There we are, 100%. An hour and 41 minutes. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Can you car charge the Dabbsson? Yes, you can. It includes a car charger with a XT60. Let's go ahead and plug this in and see what we get here in the F-150. All you need to do is open the panel up here, and you've got an XT60 right there. We're just going to plug this in, and let's see what we get. Once we plug the car charger in, it automatically turns the unit on. And let's take a look at what we're getting here. So I'm seeing 83 watts coming in, 91, 102, 103. So we've got 103. We're at 72%. It says it'll take 3.7 hours to charge from 72% to 100%. So not bad, not bad. So you can car charge, and the car charging cable's included. All right, we are going to test the solar capabilities of this Dabbsson power station. We're going to be using a Dabbsson 210 watt solar panel. All right. We've got extra solar cable, of course, so we can put this out further. We want the solar panel out, and we want the power station nearby. We also have the solar cable that the Dabbsson came with, and we've got the solar disconnector tool. We'll show you how that works in a little while. And lastly, we've got our solar angle guide. This thing really helps get the solar panel angled correctly, so that you actually get the best angle and the most power. We will put these items in the description if you want to pick them up. But let's go ahead and put the specs up for the Dabbsson. First of all, the solar specs. So the Dabbsson is 400 watts, 12 to 60 volt, 12 amp, and the Dabbsson solar panel is 210 watts, open circuit voltage 24.5 volts. You could actually connect two of those panels to this. Short circuit current is 11.1 amp. All right, so there are your specs. Let's go ahead and do this solar test. All right, we got our solar panel set up, and this is actually the best angle based off where the sun's at. We've got a partly cloudy sky, but just to show you with the solar angle guide, if I place this right on the panel, you're going to notice that that dot is pretty much dead center. All right, now if we had it too far up, the dot would go down. If we had it too far back, the dot would go up. But this is pretty much the best angle for this panel using this solar angle guide. So let's go ahead and test and see what we get. All right, we just have to plug the last part of the cable in, and we'll keep an eye on the screen to see what we get. 68, 86, 138, 144, 152. Wow. Now obviously it is about 38 degrees And because it's really not hot, this panel will perform very well. Heat does affect the performance of a solar panel, but it says with 153 watts, it'll take 4 hours to charge from 54% to 100. We're getting 153 watts, guys, out of this panel. So again, 4 hours to charge to 100% from 54%. That is really good performance. And that is a great demonstration of solar. So I showed you this tool earlier. It's very inexpensive. We'll put the links in the description. But it really makes taking your cable apart real easy. So this actually goes under this section here to pretty much push up against these pins you see. So you take this, you put it underneath. All right, you can see there now that it's underneath, and it's pushing these pins. And basically now it just makes it easier to take the cable apart. All right, so we'll put that in the description if you want to pick that up. This next test we're going to do is to see if the Dabbsson is pure sine wave. And what does that mean? Look, it's clean power is what it means. Anything cleaner is going to be from the outlets at your home. If you do buy a power station, you want to make sure it has pure sine wave outlets, right? The outlets that you plug in, the AC outlets. So make sure, because if it doesn't, you know, if you plug in a fan, you might get a humming noise. If you plug in a TV or a projector, you might get distortion on the screen. And that's actually coming from the power station's outlet. So make sure you get a pure sine wave power station. Now, Dabbsson says they are pure sine wave. So we're going to turn this on. And what we're going to do is check the voltage real quick. All right. Should come up correctly. Now, we're going to have a load also. This is a 600 watt load on the unit at the same time. So, you know, is it pure sine wave even with a load? Let's turn on the AC outlets and watch the screen. We should see that we're over 110, 120 volts. All right, 122.1 volts. That's good. Now, what we're going to do now is we've got, as you can see here, 500, 600 watts coming out for the power station. To power the charger. So let's go ahead and switch this over so we can see if it's pure sine wave. Okay, again, 600 watts being powered, and also checking to see is it's pure sine wave. And as you can see here, it is pure sine wave. This is definitely not the cleanest signal I've seen, but it is still pure sine wave. So it will still provide clean power, but definitely a little bit rough around the edges. But don't worry, that's fine. This is a pure sine wave power station. A question you might have is, can you make a cup of coffee with this power station? Well, we should be able to. This is a 1200 watt power station. This thing uses almost 1400 watts for a good period of time. Now, we're going to make a small cup of coffee, but there is a chance it might not work. We're going to try it anyway. Let's turn this on. All right. And I'm going to turn on the AC outlet on the side, just so we know we have power. I'm going to open up the coffee maker, close it. Okay. And we're going to choose a 4. All right, I'm not going to hit the big K button yet. What we're going to do is we're going to watch the output here on the right side of the screen. So get ready. I'm going to hit the K, and let's see. Here goes. All right. 1,407, 1,437 so far is the high. It is lowering down to 1,300. I have coffee coming out. I still have 1,300 and change being used. That's not bad so far. I mean, this is going to be a little bit. It's a small cup. We're doing a 4 ounce. But I don't have any errors. And it looks like it's finishing up the coffee here. At the end, it doesn't use much wattage. Now the question is, if we did an 8 ounce, would that work? Well, I'm going to try it. I want to see if it works. Because so far, we've got a 4 ounce. Opening it back up. Closing it. I am going to now hit 8 ounce. And we are going to watch the screen and see what happens. We're going to hit this K button. Ready? All right, let's see. 1,363, 1,433 is the high. And now we're doing an 8 ounce, not a 4 ounce. I'm impressed that this thing is holding over 1,200 watts. This is more than a surge. Again, coffee coming out. So far, no errors. Holding 1,300 and change, 1,390. Can it complete? Once this drops to 0, it tells me that it's finished with the cup. But we're going to stay on this screen here. I'll tell you, this is pretty impressive. Oh, sounds like it's done. So I got 0 wattage, and this cup is pretty full. As you can see, it's a 12 ounce cup. Oh boy, I'm in trouble. Okay. All right. Well, that didn't spill, and we're at 68% battery now. That's a success. It made a cup of coffee. I don't think it'll run a microwave, but we're going to try that. All right, let's see if we can make some popcorn. All right, I'm going to get this in here. I'm going to put this on, and I'm not going to let it run for the whole time. As long as I hear this thing popping, because this is going to be 2 minutes. Maybe I will, to be fair. Let's turn on the AC outlet and hear the microwave power. So it powered it. I don't know if it's going to work, okay? But I'm going to hit 2 on the microwave. That's 2 minutes on high. And then we're going to look at this screen here. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. The power doesn't sound right on the microwave. Nope, it didn't work. All right, we've got an overload. That's real tiny too, by the way. This little thing here says overload. All right, no luck on that, but we did really good with the coffee maker, I'll tell you. Next question, can it run this full-size refrigerator? We use this in all of our power station videos, or at least most of them, I should say. Well, let's find out. All right, we are going to start our refrigerator test this morning. And I'm going to put up some information on the right-hand corner. You can take a look at that. That'll give you some information on the refrigerator. Now, yeah, it's a full-size refrigerator. I believe we picked this up in 2021. It's a Samsung refrigerator. It's actually very efficient. And so it does really well, with a power station. Now, if you're using an older power station, you can't really think that you'll get these results. All right, so there's the image. And let's go ahead and start the test. And let me walk over here. I've got to turn on the power button on the side of the power station. We're 100% charged, as you can see. And let me hit the power button for the AC. It's 8:21 in the morning. Here's our output. 175 is the surge. All right, now it looks like it's staying around 12 and then going to 0. And that's it. It's 8:21 in the morning. We're going to see how long this power station will power the full-size refrigerator. All right, we'll check and we'll update you throughout the day. Now they do have an app, by the way, and you can actually turn on AC without having to go on the side of the machine like I did. You can turn on USB, 12 volt DC. You can turn on the light as well. Another thing you can do too is if you don't want the screen on the whole time, right? You can go into energy saving mode right there. And you can go into screen timeout. And I have that for 30 minutes, but realistically, I like 5 minutes is usually pretty good when I'm doing a demo. So I'll put on 5 minutes. But as you can see here, you can go 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 30, or never. I'm going to go back to 5 minutes for now. All right, so you've got a whole bunch of things you can do in the app. It's actually a pretty nice app. All right, we are 1 minute shy of an hour. Let's see what we got here. All right, 96% with 53 watts going out on the power station. So look at that, 96% in 1 hour. 59 minutes, not bad. All right, 3 hours in. Let's press the button and find out. 87%, 3 hours in. Not bad at all. No wattage going out to the refrigerator, but 3 hours in, we'll keep checking. 6 hour check. 6 hours, we are at 74% with 52 watts being used by the refrigerator. Check that out, 74%, 6 hours. Looks like maybe I'll be able to go to the morning and see where we're at. If not, I'll be getting up really early in the morning. But 6 hour check, 74% with over 50 watts going out to the refrigerator. All right, guys, a few minutes shy of 12 hours, just a few minutes shy, obviously, about 16 minutes shy. We've got 50%, look at that, 50% left on the battery with 60 watts going out to the refrigerator. All right, so just a little shy of 12 hours with 50% left on the battery. All right, guys, 23 hours. Look at the time. I'm tired. 23 hours. Let's see what we got. Oh, wow. I just woke up. 1%. 1%, 23 hours. This little power station. All right, 7:43 a.m. and it looks like we're gone. Looks like we've got nothing. Yep, she is dead. I've got to plug the refrigerator in. There you go. I mean, almost 24 hours. That's not bad for a small machine like that. We are in the wonderful Techmadeezy kitchen studio. And one day we'll have enough money to have an actual studio. But here is where we do many of our power tests. And we just did that coffee maker test. We did the microwave test. And now we're going to do a power test. We're going to start off with this charger. This is about 600 watts. No problem, right? So I'm going to turn on the AC outlets on the side. start charging that battery, and we'll take this off. We could see what we're dealing with here. We've got all right, 250, 280, 3, 400. All right, almost 500 watts. That's the fan on the charger. So, I don't know. We got about 500 watts on this charger. Sometimes I get 600, which is weird. I don't have any settings turned on this here. I have it raw, organic. So 400 and change. Let me go ahead and plug in a heat gun. Let's try a heat gun. We're going to plug this guy in here. All right. Make sure it's off. For some reason I have it on and then I plug it in. But let's plug this in on the side. All right, sorry about the camera stuff going on. But we're going to put this on low now. And again, we've got 484 watts so far going out. And we're going to put this on low. Let's see. All right, low, we're at 989. Should be no issue, 989 watts. All right. Now what's happening too is the battery on top is outputting some, 450 watts to charge this thing. So, I've got the battery on top. Let's turn it on high. Let's see what happens. 1546, 1620, overload. All right. We got more tests to do. Let's try something else. Now have the ceramic heater we use. I don't think it'll work on high, but we'll try it on low. All right. AC outlet needs to be turned off and then turned back on to reset the overload. Actually, I might have to power the unit off. Let's power the unit off. All right. Power back on. Turn on the AC outlet. Okay. And let's turn on the heater. We'll see what we get. All right, it's on low, 576, 798, 1144, 1157 was the high. And now it's kind of settling. So that was a surge. So we have 1,000. And again, I throw this on high and we're going to have overload. But it's handling, this 900 and change without a problem. You saw what it did with the coffee maker. If you didn't, go check that out. That was pretty impressive. All right, so we're at 9 and change. I'm going to throw it on high. Let's see what happens. 1200, 1510, 1642, 1623. All right, we overloaded that. That's okay. It was going to happen. So the next test, what we're going to do is we're going to plug a power station into this. And the power station actually allows you to adjust the AC input, like this one, right? I can go down as low as 200 watts on this one, or as high as 1,000 watts when I'm charging this. Check out our charging demo for that example. But I have a power station connected to this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the AC outlet. I've got it set to 500 watts. So we should see about 500 watts coming out, charging the other power station. And then we are going to slowly creep up and see what we get. So far we're showing 499, 493. All right, so 493 watts so far. Now this actual fan kicked on. All right, got to finally hear the fan on this thing. And now I'm going to go ahead and raise the wattage. I'm going to go ahead and choose 800 watts. And that's going to go ahead and creep up. All right, there we go. 5, 6, 733. All right, almost 800 watts. And now I'm going to go ahead and go up to 1100 watts. All right, there it goes. And we're going up to 1,000. There it goes, 1104 watts. No issues. Okay, well, let's bring it up to 1,300 watts. Let's see if it can handle the 1,300 watts. All right, it went down and it's going back up. I don't know why it does that. All right, we're going up. Okay, coming up to 11. Moving up slowly, 1133. $11.50. Huh. All right, I'm going to move that up even more now. Let's do 1,400 watts. 1160. Interesting. All right, well, I'm going to go up to 1,600 on the other power station, but it looks like it's not allowing me to. Interesting. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop this down to 700 watts, and I'm going to plug in the heat gun. All right, let's see what happens. I'm going to put the heat gun on low. I got 700 watts plus this heat gun. Let's see what happens. And that should be about 1,200 watts in that area. All right, here goes. I got, again, you see the screen there, 694. Heat gun is here. Let's put it on low. 1,218, 1,260. 1,250. So, no problem over 1,200, 1,250. No problem at all. Heat gun is getting hot. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it up another 100 watts to 800 watts plus the heat gun. 1,300 now. 1,300. All right, 1,336. I'd be glad if it held it here. Let's see. 1,300 and change, no problem. Holding it, no issue. Okay. Heat gun is really hot. I'm going to go ahead and kick it up another 100 watts. Oh, okay. I didn't even do it. But, all right, listen, it did hold on to that for a while. So there's our power test with the Dabbsson power station. It did well. The coffee maker, and even in this test, it did well. All right, it's time for pros and cons. And guys, I know this is a sponsored video, But this is I could swear it's my first time I don't have cons on a power station. And I think, Dabbsson really laid back and watched this industry because this thing has everything. So let me cover my pros. First off, 4,500 cycles, and then it goes to 80%. I mean, that's phenomenal. And I guess we'll find out long term. Number two, it's got that semi-solid state battery. It takes up less room and gives you more capacity. So you have a smaller power station. These are still heavy, but to really offer more battery capacity is pretty interesting. This thing did great on our refrigerator test. It did great in our power tests. And if you haven't seen those, please go back and check them out because really, we do all that work so you can see it in action. This thing has a very advanced smart app as well. It's got one of the best smart apps. Any other company, I would say EcoFlow and then Bluetti. But you can do a lot. Screen control, really good as well. This thing's got a 5-year warranty. Very, very good warranty. They state with proper maintenance, you can have a 15-year lifespan on these things. And that's really it. That's the key thing is the maintenance and the proper usage. And I like that it's expandable. And I also like that you can do that parallel connector to go from 1,200 watts to 2,000 watts. So, guys, yeah, I'm really excited about this. All right, guys. Well, I sure hope you found this video helpful. This is a really, really cool power station, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this brand can do. But if our video helped you in any way, take a moment and give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and it also can help our video. By the way, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us right there. We have our social media channels. We also have a Tesla channel. We bought a Tesla a year ago now with about 15,000 miles. We're starting to do some videos there. Subscribe. We're going to go ahead and start talking about how do you come from a gas vehicle and go to a Tesla. We're working on those videos, but subscribe. And if you want to check out more power station videos, well, you can actually click on any of these videos here. And if you want to subscribe to our channel and join our family, well, click our round logo right there, and you'll be able to subscribe to our channel and join our family. Guys, thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.